Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for this strong and grounding flow. Today we'll be connecting with the earth element, so there will be some strong and grounding postures and transitions throughout. So leaving us feeling by the end of the flow hopefully grounded, reconnected, stretched out and strengthened. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position on your mat, and just grabbing any blocks or props, anything you might need for support during your practice. And we're going to take the fingertips down to meet the ground, or you could bring the fingertips to some blocks if that's more comfortable. And we're going to close down the eyes or take a steady gaze. And start to notice which parts of your body meet the ground, meet the earth beneath you. So maybe the sitting bones, the fingertips. And paying some attention to your breathing. Notice as you breathe in and breathe out, perhaps which parts of your body move with your breath. So connecting to the earth element, a sense of grounding today, really feeling into what that means for you and how you're feeling today in connection with this. So are you feeling nourished? Are you feeling grounded? Or maybe observing kind of how you can meet your own needs in this practice and beyond. So what's going to maybe feel nourishing for you and help you to feel that sense of being grounded, connection to the earth, feeling supported. And I want you to now take a deep inhale through the nose and imagine pulling up energy from the ground into the fingers, the hands, the arms, all the way up to your heart. And as you exhale, let that breath, that energy travel all the way back down into the ground. 2 more of these as you inhale. Imagine pulling and drawing energy up the body from the ground up to the heart space. And as you exhale, letting it all go back down into the earth. And last one with your breath, take a deep inhale in, drawing energy up. And exhale, releasing that energy to the ground. Coming back to your breath. Seeing if you can soften your shoulders, your face. Let go of anything that came before this practice today. And keeping the eyes closed or the gaze soft, I want you to bring your hands now to the side of the neck and the tops of the shoulders and start to give yourself a little massage here. So when we massage in the kind of around the neck and the throat, this can help to stimulate the vagus nerve. And this is a really important nerve linked with our regulation, our ability to deal with and manage stress. So massaging this area, maybe working up behind the ears a little bit. Seeing if you can move into the front of the neck and the throat, underneath the jaw. And you can observe and notice any areas that feel sensitive, any different sensations. There's no right or wrong. You can't get this wrong. So go with it, feel into it. Most likely, as you're doing this, probably from home, or most of you will be, there's probably no one watching you wondering what you're doing, but even if there is, it doesn't matter. Just know that it is going to be good for your nervous system. And then releasing the hands and start to flutter open the eyes if you had them closed. Nice. So on your next inhale, I want you to reach your right fingertips up. And as you exhale, find a twist. Reach the right fingertips out behind. Float the arm all the way back around. And as this right hand comes down to meet the right leg, round your spine and drop the head. Inhale, lift the head, sweep the left fingertips up, tracing all the way up and around. Notice the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the back of the body. And then tracing your way back as the left hand comes down, round the spine, drop the head. So once more on each side. Inhale, reach those right fingertips all the way up and around, finding a twist. Like you're tracing a big circle with the fingertips rounding the spine. Last one, inhale, tracing that circle on the left side with the fingertips. And rotating all the way back round into the rounded spine position. Pausing here, dropping the head. Imagine breathing into the back of the body, maybe the sides. And see how it feels in your rounded position. So keeping the head dropped to reach with the rib cage over to the right. Notice how this feels. And then reach with the back of the ribs over to the left. Noticing any sensations. Come back to neutral. Inhale, lift the head, coming back up. Take a couple of shoulder rolls. And move into all fours. So finding your tabletop position on your mat. So from here, sit your hips down towards your heels as if you're coming into a child's pose, but we're not resting here yet. And inhale here, as you exhale, rounding the spine, imagine being lifted by your shoulders, keep the head dropped as you roll forward. So we're in this kind of cat position. Bring the shoulders above the wrists and then lift the head, shine the heart forwards and lift your tailbone. And then slide the hips back towards the heels, so mobilizing the spine. So exhale, gliding forwards with a rounded spine. Inhale, lifting the tailbone, lifting the head, sliding back. Again, don't worry about how these movements look. If you're adapting the movements a bit, just focus on how it feels. Focus on what you can feel. Just going with your breath at a pace that feels good for you. Taking one more of these when you're ready. Meeting in a child's pose, melting into it. Take a couple of grounding breaths here. Notice where your body is connected to the ground. Notice where you're held and supported. One more breath, melting into your child's pose. And then we'll lift the hips away from the heels, float back to all fours. Now, as we come into this next one, option to place the hands on blocks to give you some more space. So just remembering that that option's there. We're going to bring this right knee in and bring it to tap the right elbow or in that direction. And then from here, hook your right leg over the top of the left. Take any little adjustments. See how it feels to bring the feet out to the side. And we're going to walk the hands in, sit the hips back. It could be that you're finding a stretch here. Or maybe you can walk all the way back to find your Gomukhasana, working towards the knees being stacked. Inhale, reach your fingertips up, grow the spine tall, and exhale, folding forwards. Take a deep breath here, inhaling and exhaling. And then start to bring the weight into the hands, shifting back to all fours. As you come out, see if you can bring your right knee back to tap the right elbow and right leg back down to the mat. Nice. Coming on to the other side, so left knee taps the left elbow. Hook the left leg around over the top of the right. Take any little adjustments. Feet can come out to the side. You could also have some blocks here for your hips to sit on. Maybe coming back to Gomukhasana. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, folding forwards. Taking a couple of breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. One more of these. Then bring the weight back into the hands. Lift the hips, come back to all fours, coming out as we came in. Knee comes to elbow. And we meet back in your all fours position. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, lift the hips to the sky for your downward facing dog. Take any movements you want to take in your downward facing dog. Could be a pedal out through the feet. Could be shimmy of the hips. Shake a nod of the head. And then look between your hands. Step the feet in and lift the chest and lengthen the spine. Find your halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold and melt forwards. As you inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold forwards. One more of these. Inhale, lifting the chest. And exhale, folding forwards. Inhale here, and on your exhale, curl the body up, keeping the arms and the head heavy. And as you slowly lift the head, lift the chest, inhale, reach the fingertips out to the side and up to the ceiling. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step, float, jump back to your downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhale, reach your right foot up. Find your three-leg dog, option to open into the hips. And then from here, look between the hands and we're going to drop the left knee down to the mat. See if you can keep that back leg lifted. Start to pivot. So this left foot is moving to the left and we're pivoting into this modified Vashisthasana position. So right leg's lifted, right fingertips reach up. Inhale, reach the right fingertips maybe up and over the head. The arm could be coming towards that ear. And then flow your arm in the other direction, so coming towards your leg. Breathing here, noticing any sensations in the body, any differences when the arm moves in different directions. Maybe imagining your arms floating through water. And then noticing the left arm and the left leg connected to the ground, stabilizing, rooting into the earth. Grounding you so that you can move these other parts of your body. Well done. Now from here, we're going to see if we can start to pivot back. And as we pivot back, this right foot, maybe it stays lifted. See if you can step it all the way to the top of your mat. Nice. So we're in a low lunge. Inhale, reach the fingertips up, lift up and out from the waist. And exhale, shift the hips back. Find Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split. Start to move between the two, so coming forwards and then backwards with your breath. So pausing for longer, anywhere that you feel needs your attention. One more breath here. And then grounding into your right foot. Tuck the back toes under, press them into the ground, and we're going to flow into a standing split. So you can either bring your hands to the ground or blocks here. This right arm could be wrapping around the right leg as the left toes reach up, opening into the hip space. Breathing here. Beautiful. Inhale, start to lift the chest. And see if you can make your way to a warrior three position. Hands can come to heart center, or they can stay on blocks. And then take a really big step back with that back leg, finding your lunge, hands at heart center. Inhale, lift up and out from your waist. Exhale, twist to the right. Maybe this left elbow can find the right thigh and find a twist. Press the palms of the hands together, look up towards the ceiling. Sense of the belly coming away from the thigh. So really rooting the feet into the ground. Inhale, unravel from your twist, hands come down to the mat. And step it back to a downward facing dog. Well done, take a breath here. Always option to find a child's pose. Inhale, float forwards to plank. Come through your version of vinyasa. Inhaling into an upward facing dog or a cobra. And exhale back to your downward facing dog. This time we inhale, sweep the left leg up, find your three-leg dog left side. Look between your hands, drop your right knee down to the mat. Maybe the back leg can stay lifted. This right foot starts to pivot to the right and the left hips opening up towards the ceiling as we find modified Vashisthasana. Left leg lifts, reach the arm up by the ear or in that direction, and then down to the side of the leg. Notice whatever you notice as you take these movements, maybe imagining that left hand's floating through water, noticing the stability of the right leg, the right hand that's now grounded and rooting into the earth. One more breath here. And then seeing if we can bend this left leg and start to pivot around. Slowly, slowly, slowly float the left foot to the front of the mat until you find a lunge left side. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. And exhale, float back to your Ardha Hanumanasana. Start to move between these two. So connected with Muladhara, that earth energy, that root chakra, is the hip space, Svadhisthana. So those two energy centers are really connected. So when we look at that earth energy, thinking about the feet, the legs, where we're connected to the ground, we're also connecting with the hip space, that sacral chakra as well. So moving into those areas, feeling the aliveness. One more breath here. And then grounding into your front foot, start to lift that back leg and we'll find your version of your standing split. Sweeping the right toes up towards the ceiling. Maybe the left arm wraps around the left leg. Could be drawing the forehead in towards the shin. That's just an option. Lovely. Then start to see if you can lift the chest. You might walk the hands forward a little bit and then maybe bringing the hands into the heart center. Find a warrior three. Breathing here. Breathing into any wobbles or shakes. Take a really big step back now, finding a high lunge. Inhale, lift up and out from the pelvis, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Take that right elbow to hook on the left thigh, find your twist. See if the palms of the hands can really press against each other, sending the gaze up towards the ceiling. Rooting your feet into the ground. Inhale, start to lift the chest, come away from the twist. Bring your hands down to the mat, take a big step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, roll the shoulders forwards into plank. Come through your version of vinyasa. Inhaling into an upward facing dog or a cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. So options here are you can stay in downward facing dog for a few breaths. You can come into a child's pose. Or you can work with an inversion. So handstand, headstand. Take your choice, but as always, be safe. If you're working on your handstands, just walk the feet in a little bit, and we're going to do some bunny hops today. So really make sure that you're pressing the ground away with your hands, finding that stability. And then maybe taking some little hops. If it's in your practice, of course, coming up into a handstand. Having a bit of play time. Everybody meeting back in a downward facing dog. And then on your next inhale, sweep the right leg up, come back to your three-legged dog. Inhale, look between the hands, drop the left knee down. Start to open out into that modified Vashisthasana. So coming into this same sequence again, but with a couple of extra options. So either staying here, or you're going to bend this right leg and let the right hand catch the right foot and find a stretch, pressing forwards through the hips. Release the foot, keeping it lifted, and then draw this right knee and this elbow in towards each other. Lengthen back out. One more of these, elbow to knee. Lengthen back out, and then slowly float that right foot around all the way to the top of the mat until you're in your lunge. So either keeping this as a low lunge to half split, or you have the option to tuck under the left toes, lift your back leg and take those similar movements but with the back leg lifted. So bending into the front leg and then letting that left leg bend to open into the back of the right leg. So feel into what feels right for you. Pausing for longer anywhere that feels good, taking extra breaths there. And then next time you bring the weight into that front foot, find your standing split on the right side. Your version of standing split doesn't need to look like mine. Be in your body. Make this your practice. Find your sense of grounding. And that's going to look different on different days, different people, different bodies, different needs. Inhale, start to lift the chest. Find your warrior three. Watch out for any plants. Breathing here. Breathe into any wobbles and shakes. And take a big step back with the left leg. Find your lunge. Find your root of the pose. Imagine that you are pulling and drawing energy up from the ground into your body. Inhale, make space. Exhale, twist to the right. Let the left elbow hook onto the outside of the left thigh, or right thigh, sorry. And then option to open the arms up. If that's in your practice. You can take a little side crow here if you've got space to. Breathing. Start to unravel. Bring your hands down to the ground. And then this time, option to meet back in a 3-leg dog, reaching the right leg up to the ceiling. Float through your vinyasa, an option to come through a split leg vinyasa, so keeping that right leg lifted and inhaling into an upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Well done. Coming on to the left side now. Inhale, reach the left leg up, find your 3-leg dog. Look between the hands, drop the right knee down to the ground. Pivot that right foot out to the right side, let the left hip open, find modified Vashisthasana. And then option to bend the left leg, take the left hand to the left foot, find a stretch. You can see how it feels to press the hips forwards. Stretching into the hip flexor, the left thigh. With control, releasing. Inhale, and as you exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach out, and then with the left leg, slowly, 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 see if you can pivot and place the left foot down on your mat so you're in your lunge. So either staying with a low lunge to half split transition or tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee and start to move and groove from here. So sending the weight backwards and forwards, finding any little areas where you want to pause and breathe into, or add anything in, take anything away. Nice. Next time you bring your weight into the left foot, come into your standing split. Reaching that right leg up. Focus on how body responds to the pose and how it feels over how anything looks. Focus the gaze inwards, finding that connection with yourself, your body. Start to maybe walk the hands forward so that you can lift the chest. Find your way into your warrior 3. Hands could come to blocks here. Breathing. Start to take a big step back. Find your lunge. Inhale, create space. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow hooks on left thigh. Press the palms of the hands together, look up. Option to stay here, or you can open the arms out. If you want to take a little arm balance, you could take your side crow here. I've got a little bit more space on this side. Take any little variations with the legs that you might like to take. And seeing if you can come out as you came in. Come away from your twist. Hands come down to the mat. Then option to sweep that left leg back to a 3-leg dog. Come through your version of chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. Well done. Root the hands and the feet into the ground. Look between your hands, drop your knees down, sit the hips down towards the heels so you're in a kneeling position. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, twist to the right. Float the fingertips down. Maybe these right fingertips meet the ground, and left hand could come to the right thigh. Send the gaze over the right shoulder or in that direction. As you inhale, create space. As you exhale, move into the space you've created. Inhale, reach the fingertips back up. Exhale, right arm comes forward, left arm comes back. Let the arms float down and find your twist. Gaze comes over the left shoulder or in that direction. Breathing here. And come back to center. Walk the hands out in front, mount into a child's pose. Let your forehead come to the ground. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. Coming back to that sense of what feels grounding, what feels supported and stable. And what can you do to feel nourished, to meet your needs? Well done for showing up on your mat today, doing this practice, giving yourself this time. If you're ready to come away from this grounding flow, walk the hands back in. Come back to a seated position on your mat. See if you can bring your fingertips back down to meet the ground. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Draw in, pull up energy from the ground all the way up to the heart. Draw in the kind of energy you want to receive. And then as you exhale, empty out anything that's no longer needed. Come back into your space, opening up the eyes when you're ready. Thank you so much for joining me for that strong and grounding flow. Do feed back to me and let me know how you got on with that and how you're feeling. Please do comment, like, share these videos. You can subscribe to this channel, it's completely free. I really appreciate every single one of you who flows with me. It really does mean the world to me, and I can't wait to have more practices for you and for us to flow together again really, really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.